Hey everybody, welcome back to the Combat Chain. I am your host, Patrick. My next cosplay is going to be Eradicate Corpse number 15, Shaw, and with me as always is my co-host, Adam. The only blue pitch I'm worried about is my graded Heart of Findel, Philip Chuck. Adam, how are you doing today?
Man, if I owned a graded Heart of Findel, I would not be worried about anything in life whatsoever.
A little exaggeration on my part for the epithet this week, is it?
The only graded card I own is my gold foil talismanic lens. I do hold it dear to my heart.
All right,
but
that you know what? That's a hard-earned gold foil you got.
It was.
You got there.
I mean, was it though?
Fond memories.
When we look back at how truly powerful Scalata Viz with Revel at his full potential was it really that hard earned?
Yes, it was, because you know what? It lost anyways. Like it was unfavored into Starvo, unfavored into Prism by the end anyways. So you did it. You earned it. All right. This is the last episode of 2022. So we're going to do a wrap-up episode. We're going out with a bang, and to help us, we brought on the most exciting guest that I could possibly think of. So let's bring her in right now. She is a two-time Taylor card winner, having won the cosplay contest at Pro Tour New Jersey as Exude Confidence, and followed that up with another win at Worlds in San Jose as Chain. She's a Dash main, and perhaps my favorite part of Flesh and Blood Twitter, Carolina Alvarado. Carolina, welcome to the Combat Chain.
Super, super happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for humoring us. Hopefully this is, you've been on a bunch of podcasts as of late. I hope this is up to snuff. It's excellent to have you here. So before we get into our questions, we do have a bit of news coming up. So first, Adam, give us some of the latest Fab Team Cup updates.
Yeah, Pat, it's been super exciting to see this thing unfold. We have, as of December 12th, entered the top 16. So after the round robins, everybody played their first 3 rounds of guaranteed games, and the dust has settled. And now we're into the elimination rounds, and these are exciting rounds because each game really matters now. I mean, every game mattered right from the get-go, but now they extra matter.
They just regular mattered before, now they matter the most.
Yeah. There's a × multiplier on the mattering. So anyway, it's going to be super exciting to see this unfold. There's a lot of big names, a lot of interesting teams that have made it into the top 16. I'm not going to sit and rattle through it all here. You can, if you want to see it all, you can go to the, I'll leave it in the description, the Fab Team Cup page, where you can track all the stats and see exactly who's in the runnings for first place in the Fab Team Cup. But I can say it's been super exciting to follow. Some big names still involved. Yours truly, Team Combat Chain, is just holding. I'm gonna say holding on by a fingernail at this point, because we were 2-0 going into the last round of the round robin, and then things kind of fell apart. We played the Greek team, Fab Chaos, and now we're what is it, Pat? We're going into the elimination rounds with a losing record or something like that.
Yes, we are. We are going in with a team record of 7-8, with myself contributing 3 of those losses each of the first 3 weeks. So you're welcome for that contribution. And we are going up against the team from Hong Kong, the sister the sister team of the Card Guys, Blue Pitch, which are for the season, they're 12-3. The only other team that went 12-3 for the season is the Card Guys. They test together. They do all sorts of collusion.
There's just a bunch of machines over there.
They are. They're crazy. They've rotated all their heroes. They rotated all their players. There's no pattern. They're just well-oiled machines. Everyone's good at everything, and we're gonna knock the crap out of them. I tell you what. And you know what the best part about that is? I'm not on the roster this week, so you guys are it's like a shoo-in. You guys are almost guaranteed to go. You're gonna go 4-1. At least that's my call right now.
Man.
So are you saying that you're
4-1.
the reason? You're like their anchor?
I am like
implying
I'm like
that
their
you're the anchor to the team?
emotional
You're
support
what's bringing
animal.
them down.
I am. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm that anchor for sure. Yes. I am
They chucked into the ringer.
Yeah. I am the 7 and 7 and 8. Like I am just garbage compared to most of the team. I 100% exploited my position as a internet podcast personality to get on the competitive team, and showed exactly why I should not be there in the first place. Carolina, how hard do you follow the Fab Team Cup? Have you heard of the competition that's going on here?
I have heard of the competition. I've been watching it. I'm not playing in it, thank God, because I'm an anchor for sure. But I have been watching it closely on the internet.
Excellent. Are you rooting for any particular team as it goes here?
If I said a team, I can't. No,
Okay,
my team lost. I was rooting for the Clout Chasers, and they lost.
They did.
Horribly.
Unfortunate. We are also big friends of the Clout Chaser team.
At the moment, I am not rooting for anybody.
I'm
rooting for everybody at the exact same time.
That's all right? Everyone's a winner. The real tournament is the friendships we made along the way. So after
the real tournament is the enemies we made along the way.
Yeah. Speaking of making enemies, the James White, who won't come on to the show, who won't return my phone calls, my letters, won't respond to my pictures that I send him. James, I love you.
What kind of pictures are you sending, James? I don't know if I want to know the answer to that.
I'm just trying to entice him any way I can. I don't understand it, but he did write a lovely article on the Fab Team. It'd be great if he was part of the Fab Team Cup. He is not.
Not yet.
On the mothership, fabtcg.com, we got the Organized Play 2023 announcement. So,
okay, hot take.
Yeah.
That was a non-announcement.
Yes, you know what?
We got the one piece of confirmation that there's only going to be one Pro Tour, and that was it. And that was a bunch of fluff. And I'm a little ticked about it.
We got a calling announcement.
We did, right? We got a calling. So we'll do a little Cliff's Notes dive here. So once again, $1 million total in prize money for Organized Play 2023. Now, when they first announced these numbers, it seems really big until you think about what they're actually saying here, right? So 300,000 for the world's prize pool money. Great. One tournament, 300,000. Status quo, what they had, 100,000 first prize, great. Pro Tour, 200,000 budget. We know that there's only one Pro Tour, so great, 200,000. Okay, we're there. Probably I forget what first prize was in the last couple Pro Tours.
First place in the last two Pro Tours was 25K, so I would assume it'd be 50K for this one then.
Okay, all right. So
which, I mean, that's not bad. Like,
no, it's
lump
not bad.
sum
it's not
for
bad
first place.
200,000 for the calling. Now this is where things can get kind of dicey. So it's a $200,000 budget for the calling, not just a calling. It's not a $200,000 because that would make it like a several $1 million contribution to Organized Play, right? So it's a $200,000 prize budget for all the callings, right, that are going to happen in 2023, which makes it it depends on how many they're going to have. We know at least one, and that's the calling Indianapolis, but we don't know how many others.
And the calling in Auckland.
That's right. I should know that because Melody is all over that.
Mm-hmm.
We're
so
traveling
we have
down for that, right, Pat?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna swim there. We have 200,000 for national championships, of which there was, I think, there was 36 national championships in 2022. I don't think any more nations have come up. So, but you might see one in like South America for Brazil. You might see one in Japan this year in 2023. So you'll see a couple more, but you're diluting that pool.
So to see 200K committed to national championships, I'm gonna be real honest. If I come in 11th place again and get boxes of Uprising, I'm gonna flip a table.
Flip it, man. Flip it.
That it's got to. Well, and I think that was in part the organizer for the Canadian Nationals. Like, it was marginally better than it was year one, but still, our Canadian scene's hurting. We need like.
Yeah, right. You guys have great players in terrible venues. That's what I hear.
Oh, it's not even. No, it's the venues are there. We have terrible organizers. Nobody's willing to step up and do it the way it needs to be done. I'd do it, but I don't got the capital.
I'd be a great tournament organizer. This would be. I'd throw it all over the mountain.
Or two.
I say that again.
You can sell a kidney or two, put together a national championship.
Yeah,
that's right.
Nah, kidneys don't sell for enough. I need to sell like a lung or something like that.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, it doesn't have to be yours.
Oh, fair.
That's
True.
Right. Look, transients, like, you do quick blood tests, make sure that it's viable. Once the blood tests come, look, you finish the job, take their organs, no questions, no muss, no fuss. Make sure you have a cooler, some ice.
So what are we talking here? Like a 50% deal? I give the supplier 50%. I'm gonna call them supplier because it sounds way more appropriate than like patient or something like that. 50% of the deal, and then I just have to like, because I'm sure I could fuck my way through like extracting a kidney from someone.
Carolina, what is your opinion on the organ harvesting trade in Canada?
I think the organ harvesting trade in Canada needs to be more regulated. I feel like it should be bigger than it actually is. They should take some advice from America, a few Tinder dates. That's one organ per Tinder date.
Really gotta lure it in. We know Seb McKinnon supports unregulated organ harvesting. So onward. Legend Story Studios is understaffed, so they can't tell us when we'll have tournaments in the future, and that's my big takeaway from all of the organized play announcement here is that we have a Pro Tour ish. We know when ish. Can't do it because there's no venue yet. We know that there's no location. I'm sure they're working on it, but by working on it, I feel like James White is like, go ahead.
I think that we know exactly. I hate that they said ish. I don't like that they said, oh, it's between April and May. I'm like, okay, we already knew that. We already knew that it was in between April and May. Like, we just assumed, and you like confirmed it, but give us at least a tiny little date between this week and this week, please. Please.
Yep, and I think everyone going into this saw the icon on the main page and went, we're getting Pro Tour 2023, and then you open it and you're like, okay, great, we got money. Okay, we got this.
You get one calling in February.
That's right. Yep, the big fuck you. So they did one thing I do like is that they defined their seasons, right? So there's 3 product releases this year. So we know that Outsiders is coming out. Very excited. We'll touch on that in a little later. But Outsiders coming up is a standalone draft set that will be associated with the Pro Tour, and that season is between March and June. Then we're going into national season where they're going to release their one and only expansion set, like supplemental. They call them, right? Supplemental sets are now expansion sets. Expansion sets are draftable sets in Magic. We're not playing Magic. We're in Flesh and Blood. Standalone sets or draft sets. expansion, nationals, July through September, and then finally October through January, the second draftable standalone set will be centered around Worlds. Now, I like that they're doing this. If they put 10 weeks in front of Outsiders and Pro Tour, I think we're still going to have a bit of a problem here. So I think they just need to kind of give me 5 to 6 weeks to get comfortable with the set, test CC, and play.
I mean, based off the release window we have for Outsiders and the theoretical window we have for Pro Tour, I was going to say, I guess Pro Tour 3. Yeah, it makes sense that, like, I think that little gap in time kind of makes sense. Like, Pro Tour will line up appropriately for that, I think it looks like.
Carolina.
Yes.
You look like you were going to say something.
I agree.
That's all. Okay. All right. Excellent.
No,
all
that's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal it from you.
Awesome. That's all right. Just want to give you your opportunity.
No, you're good. It's fine. You steal everything from me. It's fine.
We got location announcements as well. So let's see where we're all going. At least this spring. So first, calling in Indianapolis, February 3rd through 5th. Are we going? I'm not going. Carolina, are you going to calling in Indianapolis?
I might be going.
We got a maybe.
Okay, so funny story. I thought the calling was March 28th. Then I checked this morning. It's actually February 3rd through the 5th. I don't know where I pulled March 28th. I think I just pulled it out of my ass because I was like, wait, what's March 28th? Nothing.
Was it the previous calling? Because calling in Indianapolis of 2022 was in late March, so it might have been. I don't know. I just
like woke up one day and thought it was March. No, I'm just stupid. But now that it's earlier than I expected, I don't know. Most likely yes, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, all right. No quoting Carolina. Calling Auckland, New Zealand, February 24th through 26th. This is a definite for me. I don't know about anybody else.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not attending, 10 being extremely attending, I'm a full 10 on this one.
Yeah, excellent. All right, we got some New Zealand migrants. I am absolutely not going
No, there's no way I'm going to be able to make that happen.
Can't do it. But I do think that's going to be one of the ones.
Rational decision 5.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry, you cut out.
I'm one irrational decision away from going to the calling in Auckland.
Absolutely. You know what? Go for it. You gotta live your best life, right? So if you can get on a plane and get over there, or I don't know, do they take boats there? Is it
you do not want to take a boat? No, you
don't want to do the whole transnational.
Not taking a boat.
Okay.
We're talking like the difference between like hours and months. I believe.
That's fair. Okay. I do think the calling. Look, New Zealand seems like a lovely place, but there's not a lot of people there. I don't know if it'll be one of those like the top attended callings of all time. But one of the things that they talked about was scaling some of these prize structures here, and I do believe the calling.
I do know that the prize pool in Auckland is $10K.
Okay, all right. So I don't have the attendance structure in front of me, but I do believe that it is one of the smaller ones too.
I think last I heard, like the last calling in New Zealand was about 100 to 150 people.
No, but that was even in the before times.
No, that was Monarch.
Before time.
Was it? Yeah. Was that was
times.
That was Matt Rogers won that one.
Yeah. No. That was pre-Vegas, right? Everything pre-Vegas is the before times.
Within that context, what? So you could maybe expect 200 at the next one?
I think, yeah, probably. I'd say 200.
I think so. That's a reasonable estimate.
Reasonable.
Yeah, right. But that's also all the Fab players in New Zealand. So like you're really getting 100% saturation.
And you get people, but you're not just going to get New Zealand. You're going to get Australia. You're going to get Indonesia, Malaysia,
you're
maybe
going to
Singapore.
get some US people.
Yeah, you probably will get some tryhards.
You're gonna get the
and
Brendan Patricks that want to.
I bet you Brendan Patrick doesn't travel for this one. But like even dipping up into
type.
more northern Asia, like it's not unreasonable to make that commute from there even.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So maybe you could see maybe even 300 then in this one.
All right. So we also have I'm
still sticking to like 250.
250 is the
okay.
over under. 249.5 is the over under for the betting for the bookies. All
Price
right.
is right,
So we
Wills.
also have about 50 battle hardens up from I believe it was 30. And lightning round, we have battle hardened Leeds, battle hardened New Jersey, battle hardened Belgium, battle hardened Barcelona, and battle hardened Charlotte from January all the way through March, respectively. There. Quickly, anyone go into one? I might go to Charlotte if I can swing it, but other than that, it's not on the table for this guy.
No, definite no. Maybe Charlotte if the cards are right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it happening once again. No.
Yeah. Battle hardens are a bitch to travel to for what they are.
They're
too.
not.
Like,
it's the bang for buck's not there.
Currently, where are you coming? Where are you? What's your region of the U.S.?
Oh, my region of the U.S. is the middle of America. I am from Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. All right. I am from Massachusetts. He's from West Coast Canada, but they hate New England. They hate New England. I want a calling Boston. That's all I want. I'll die happy. I'll retire if that's what it takes. I will stop playing Flesh and Blood if it makes me quite happy.
Calling Boston. I would go.
It's great. Seaport District can International
give you
Convention Center.
one calling and then you're quitting right after.
Forced. I have to. Well, yeah, they'll force me out when that happens.
They'll ban you.
They'll just blacklist me. It wouldn't be the first time I've been blacklisted from something. All right. Let's get to some questions for Carolina. You have been on a few podcasts, notably Thunder most recently, so I don't want to rehash questions. So by all means, tell me you're sick of hearing these. So if you could give our audience a quick overview of how Flesh and Blood came into your life, we would appreciate that.
Flesh and Blood came into my life, which is... Okay, so Flesh and Blood came into my life when I dated a guy and he showed me Flesh and Blood. That is the base of my story, and it is a little embarrassing. Yes. I did enjoy the game. I did hate the game. I went through a lot of emotions when I first got into it. Started with Monarch Blitz decks. Didn't like Levia, even though I was playing Levia. I went through a lot of men being mean to me at the start of my whole Flesh and Blood journey. I didn't let it bother me as much, but then it bothered me a lot. But basically that's what it is. It's like I got into a game, somebody else showed me. He was into Magic and stuff, so he was also really competitive, and I was also really competitive. And so the only reason I stayed in the game is because I wanted to beat my boyfriend at least once. And then I started going to armories and I started beating people at armories, and that fueled my competitiveness. So I just stayed. Now I'm here.
Excellent. Hey, and we got there, right? Here's the Cliff Notes. Love it. So what about the game? What about the game really stood out to you that made you go, like this story has been told, 1,000 times, right? Girl meets cards, boy meets cards. They don't like them and they walk away. They try a little bit and they go. But now you've decided that Flesh and Blood is worth sticking around for. What about it really stood out to you?
The art, honestly. I'm a hard aesthetic driven person. I did get into the game around Monarch, and I did realize about a few weeks ago that Monarch has the best color scheming. All of the if you were to draft anything, if you were just to open a box of Monarch and you put all of the different cards together, their color scheming is absolutely gorgeous. They all go together. It doesn't matter if it's a mechanologist or a rune blade or anything. The color scheming is just there, and I'm a whore for color theory, so it's just so aesthetically pleasing. Um, I think that's what it was. It was just the art and the aesthetics of it all that just drew me to constantly pick up a card, look at it, and want to put it in my deck, even though it's such a bad card to play.
I can definitely appreciate that, especially I've always been a big fan of the. I agree with the artwork. I'm a huge fan of the. Just I don't know, the violence, I guess, in the art. Like it feels like it's the only card game that really wants to go there. And even if you look at Shred from Dynasty right now, right, that's like feels like one of the most just like gratuitous cards, and it's bold, it's out there, and you just got to deal with it, and they no holds barred there. So I can definitely appreciate that. And then the foiling, right, an all-time best foiled TCG that I can.
Amazing.
It's so good.
I love the foiling.
The Monarch, like Herald's foil, the Herald foils, amazing. It just blows me away.
Yeah.
But the way that they do that is great.
No complaints in the art department.
100% agree. So you had mentioned this, and I've heard this a little bit, right? You really didn't get like a friendly reception when you first came in here, and like you persevered through that. Have you? You're kind of like a big name in the community now. People know you, they recognize you. Are you still getting that kind of negative? We all know what that is, right? There's guys can't really handle some of this, right? They can't handle a new person entering into their layers. They get super uncomfortable and they lash out, right? And there's a reason that you don't see a lot more female representation in TCGs, and it has nothing to do with that, right? It has everything to do with just that outside treatment. Tell me a little bit about, I guess, your progression into now. Has that improved markedly, or is there still kind of this negative atmosphere that's kind of underlying, maybe?
Yeah, it's definitely improved. The more I dive into the community, the more it improves. I don't want to say that it's improved as a whole. I don't know how other women feel while in this space. Mm-hmm. I do want to make it clear that I am not going to say that the entire situation of like women feeling safe in their LGS has improved. I'm not going to say that because I'm not one to speak for all women and all of their experiences. For me personally, it has improved, and I've tried so hard to not speak on just only speak the positive. I want to speak about my negative interactions. I want to make it known that these things happen. I don't want me to say, oh my God, I'm having a great time, this is a safe space, and then another person come in and it's not safe for them. And they came in because I told them that my situation is completely different from another person's. If another woman comes in and doesn't feel comfortable, I want them to feel comfortable enough to talk to me, because I'm not going to say, oh, well, that's not true, because this is how I see it. It's completely different for me. Mm-hmm. And I know that it's completely different for me because I fought for it to be different for me. I am very vocal about the bad things that have happened. If somebody were to come up to me in person and ask me, hey, what happened here? I'll tell them, hey, yeah, I went to a tournament and the entire weekend it was all downhill, went uphill. Everyone was nice to me. Turns out they were only nice to me because they liked my face, and I would walk away and they would just talk about my body or say just really gross stuff about women as soon as I would walk away, like, oh, she's going to be mine by the end of the weekend or stuff like that. And I would have to hear it at dinner with all of my other friends telling me, hey, this is what happened. Like, things like this happen, and they're not going to tell it to my face. They're going to tell it to their other friends, and then other people are going to have the courage to tell me. I want to be very vocal about that. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, this was a great weekend, when in reality, I almost quit my game. I almost didn't come back after that. And I stayed because I had other people to talk to. I stayed because I had a small community that I could complain to. I want to be somebody that's open to complaining. I don't want somebody to come to me and not feel safe, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned, I believe you've brought up that small community before. Is that the crew over at the Pitch Perfect Pod and their Discord, and the likes of Kiki and Melody and such?
Yeah, it's a few people everywhere, I guess you could say. It's my friend Ashley, there's Kiki, my friend Frank Hung, who's also been on this podcast,
Show,
Jason Lai, just a lot of different people. Friend of the show, friend of the pod. It's a bunch of different people. They're like my closest people. I'm not really in like every Discord. I'm in every Discord, but I cruise like a little snake, you know?
Yeah.
I'm in everything, everywhere, all at once. And I'm friends with everybody, and I am small enemies with everybody at the exact same time.
Excellent. Now you definitely make enemies in the competitive cosplay scene. You are a 2-time cosplay champion, and here at the Combat Chain, we love to focus on the competitive side of things, and that is the main motivation for having you come on. We love to have the champions on here. Let's talk a little bit about cosplay as competition. Now, coming into Pro Tour New Jersey, where was your mindset in, like, how long was Exude Confidence in your head, and were you intending on just coming in there and just fucking killing it and wanting to win, or are you there to have a good time and that kind of ignited the spark afterwards? Or tell me Exude Confidence leading up to Pro Tour New Jersey here.
Oh, I am a very competitive person, like I said. So whenever I saw the Taylor, I said, I'm going to win that. And I put everything together with a false sense of confidence that I was going to win, and I manifested that I was going to win. I did not have a single doubt in my mind because I have this false sense of confidence. I basically said, I'm going to put this together and I'm going to win no matter how bad or good it is. And then I won.
You certainly did. You really pulled it off. And the best part is that, so both of us were there, and I distinctly remember going, that's Exude Confidence just walking around here. It's exactly who that is. And then we saw that you won, and we're like, that makes sense. That was because it was either that, or I believe Ethan Van Sant tried real hard, but was no match there. So
I still think he got robbed. He should have placed at least. He should have placed. And he did.
He should have. Also, friend of the pod, friend of the channel, recent guest, Ethan Van Sant. We feel for you. Your young Levia cosplay is fantastic. So afterwards, what happens afterwards? You go into. Do you start immediately planning for the next Taylor card to win there, or you take some time off? How does what happens between New Jersey and San Jose in your competitive cosplay career here?
Well, I like to say that I went straight into, like, in a perfect world, I would go straight into another cosplay. I kind of have to go into a hibernation for about a month, or else I'll go insane. I definitely did go insane when I was putting together Exude Confidence, because it took me about, I'd like to say, I'm a really big procrastinator. This is some story time for you. I'm a really big procrastinator. So I put together the belt for my Exude Confidence a month in advance. And I said, the belt's done. That's the hardest part. Good. I took 2 weeks off of just, I didn't touch the cosplay. I didn't touch the cosplay for 2 weeks after that. And then I looked at the calendar. I'm like, oh shit, Pro Tour's in 2 weeks. And and I'm leaving town for like a weekend. So I have like maybe a week to finish this. And so I finally finished it. I didn't sleep for 5 days, but I did finish it. And then we get to New Jersey. And then I realized I forgot half of it at home.
Oh no.
And so I had to make a bunch of stuff while I was in my hotel in New Jersey. Also, paint my swords because my swords were not painted the night before New Jersey. And my swords also got completely wrecked on the plane ride there. On the plane ride there, wrecked. So I had to fix those too. But I did go insane. I didn't sleep for 5 days because of how stressed out I was. And the same thing happened when I was doing chain. Like, I went into chain with a different mind, like a different mindset. I was not expecting to win with that one. I was like, I don't have any idea what is going to win. I'm just going to do what sparks joy. Because with Exude Confidence, it was the one and only card that sparked actual joy in me at the time. So I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I don't care. I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. And so I tried, in between those times, I tried 3 different cosplays. I tried Fi, and I finished Fi's armor, and then I completely scrapped it because I hated it so much. And then I tried, what else did I try? I tried a lot. I tried 2 different ones and I can't remember, but I definitely tried. Oh, I tried Rise from the Ashes, and then I put that together. And Frank was actually Rise from the Ashes at San Jose because we were going to match. And then I ended up going to Italy and forgetting about it, and then coming back and then remembering it, and then scrapping it completely, scrapping it again. And so I stuck with chain. I'm like, this is the one thing that sparks joy. It's not going to win, but it gives me, it motivates me. I need something that'll motivate me enough to finish it, or else I am not going to finish it. I'm going to take another 2 weeks off and procrastinate my life away. And then 2 days before whatever competition, I'm going to finish it then. And I can't do that to myself because it kills me. It killed me.
Adam, it seems Frank got Arsenal passed by Carolina on the chain costume.
Yeah, no kidding.
Long story. We're not going to.
We're supposed to twin.
I've got so many questions.
I told him,
here.
I'm like, hey, listen, I don't have time for this.
He pulled it off though. He seemed to be a good sport. We love Frank. His take on a lot of the costumes are fantastic. Now, so how deep do you go into here? Like, all right, you have the Exude Confidence swords. You didn't smith them from metal, but what are they made out of exactly here? How hardcore do you go into the material part of the cosplay process?
Oh, I go hardcore. I go grassroots.
Did you in fact
I don't have the 3D printer or
the swords?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I smithed them out of metal.
Steel.
Yep.
Excellent.
Blood, sweat, and tears. No, I do go grassroots with my cosplay only because I love foam. I love creating everything out of foam. Mm-hmm. I just love the process of it just looking like an absolute mess. And then I wither it and I sculpt it and it looks amazing at the end. And I love the grassrootsness of it. One of these days I'll buy a 3D printer. Today is not one of those days. Tomorrow, maybe. Next week, probably not. But
the holidays are coming, folks.
I love the
Carolina needs
foam.
a 3D printer.
My birthday is soon. My birthday is 4 days after Christmas. If you want to buy me a 3D printer.
Ooh, you know. That is tragic timing. My birthday is exactly 1 month.
It's purgatory.
It really is. My family has treated my birthday as purgatory, and I just accepted that. But I'm January 25th, so I'm exactly 1 month out. And ever since I escaped, I didn't escape. I love my family. My parents are great, but they very much were like, you know what? Christmas is your birthday. Birthday is Christmas. We'll have a cake on the 26th and you wrap it all into a bow here. And then I hear the story. You're like yours is 4 days afterwards. It's not enough time.
One time, my parents had my birthday a day before my actual birthday, and I didn't know why. Turns out they were going to a George Lopez stand-up special on my birthday. So they just had it a day in advance. I love George Lopez.
He's great.
Did they invite me? No. But they didn't invite me. It was my birthday.
Who is currently your favorite comedian?
Oof. Oh God. It was John Mulaney, but then he cheated on his wife.
Yeah, we can't have nice things with comedians. Mine used to be Louis C.K., and we can't talk about him anymore either.
Ooh.
That was a tragic downfall.
Ooh.
That was.
Is Bo I mean, I like Bo Burnham. Definitely Has Bo Burnham done anything wrong lately?
No, but I still wonder if he's okay. It was one of those that Netflix special there was one of those kind of like maybe we shouldn't be watching kind of moments. Like he has he's got a lot of fun songs and they hit some really important notes, and then he's crying and it's like I need to know. Message him and please.
So the thing with art, when I watched that, so a lot of art and a lot of pieces like that affect my mental. I don't know why. Just music affects me in different ways. Art affects me in different ways. And when that came out, it definitely affected me in a million different ways. The music affected me. The deep cuts that just came out, I think a few months ago, affected me. There's just a lot. A lot of that.
I did not know what to expect going into that, and the white woman's Instagram song, like it just hits me like a ton of bricks. You get just over halfway there, and he just transitions into just the most tragic, and I'm like, oh yeah, like it's too. What am I doing? I'm crying in a comedic special here. I don't know what the hell is happening. Okay, all right.
It's the greatest. I love that.
Mine is Anthony Jeselnik, by the way. He's just so I don't know. He's the darkest comedian that is like still okay. He's
I've
what
never heard of him. I'm gonna look up his specials.
Oh God,
I don't know the name either.
What? Really? Anthony Jeselnik? He's a good one. He's a good one. He treads a line. So, it's not for everyone, but if you like to laugh when you're not supposed to, he's got my number for that one for sure. All right. Back on the rails here. So you talked about your mindset going into the chain cosplay, being a bit different, but that almost speaks to kind of a quiet confidence, right? You have a process now. You kind of can hunker down and get things done. Did chain get off without a hitch, or did you run into problems putting chain together as well?
I forgot the middle crotch piece of my chain cosplay.
Seems important.
And I didn't realize until Friday.
All right.
So I finished. I made sure to finish absolutely every single piece before packing. Before packing, I made sure, and I put it all on my bed, and I double checked, and I triple checked, and I quadruple checked. My flight wasn't until noon that day, so I made sure to check. And then I forgot the middle piece on the table on top of my suitcase. I cried so hard. I cried so hard because
I don't think anyone would blame
went
you.
through every different. I crossed so many things on my list, and I still forgot something. Very stress-inducing. Did not finish that until the night before at I'd like to say 2:00 in the morning. I was having a get-together at my Airbnb at the same time. So everyone around me was like drinking and having a great time. And I am working and withering leather and drinking at the exact same time. I'm just like, drink leather. And I start talking and they're like, no, pay attention right now. Pay attention. I'm like, you're right. Drink leather.
I mean, that's a sign of good friends.
And then somebody throws up on my couch.
That's the sign of not so good friends.
No. And then somebody throws up on my couch. On my Airbnb couch.
Oh,
my Airbnb couch.
The surcharges.
And I'm like, oh no. I start freaking out. But I had some really good people there. I didn't have a washer in my Airbnb. There were plugins for it, but there was no washer, which is great. They washed the blankets for me. I made sure that there was no stains on that couch. And then after that, I kept working on my cosplay the night before. Then I finally finished it. I did play The Calling that next day. I was staying with Frank and Kiki at our Airbnb. And so Frank actually really helped me finish that cosplay. And they're like, we're just going to miss round 1. And then we show up an hour later and The Calling still hadn't even started. And we're like, what the hell? What's happening?
They
so we ended up still playing. But then we're like, yeah, I saw that. That's also something that happened to me there. 3 rounds in, somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey, just letting you know, we don't have your deck. We don't have your deck list. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have my deck list? I made sure that Kiki, because I didn't have time, I made sure that Kiki registered my deck last night. What do you mean? And they're like, yeah, it's just not there. So, like, finish this round and then meet us over there. And I'm like, okay, cool. I go over there and I'm like, what do I have to do? And they're like, yeah, you just have to fill out this form. You have to write your entire deck list down. I'm like, okay. How much time do I have? 5 minutes.
Oh, people.
I wanted to die. And so I was like, okay, so it's either I have 5 minutes. I put this down and I probably get like an IP2 because I'm going to be late for my next round because I have to do this, or I just drop. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, drop me, please. Because Frank had already dropped at this point.
Yeah.
Frank had already dropped at this point. I'm like, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go to the bathroom because there's no bathroom here. First day, the bathrooms were fine. First day, the bathrooms were absolutely fine. The women's bathrooms were fine. But then guys started going in there because they realized there was only 3 girls there, and I was one of them. And
ruin
so
everything.
It's Saturday. The bathrooms are disgusting. I'm going to go like fuck around, find another bathroom. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to socialize for the rest of the day. So I played 3 rounds of The Calling and dropped. 3 rounds where they didn't even know my deck was just like not there, even though I know it was there because I made somebody else do it for me.
The best way. All right, I want to backtrack here. This is a little tangent here. All right, I'm gonna lead this off with something a little heavy. Okay, I am sober 5 years. Okay, I used to drink super heavily. All right, so I know that at my highest, lowest, whatever you want to call it, I would be up at I'd be 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, hammered, right? I could not play a card tournament that next morning, but it seems to be, I don't know, a thing that happens. Not that everyone was hammered there, but how the hell do you even stay up past midnight and wake up to play cards, let alone have, I don't know, I guess a good time? How do people have good times and still be competitive in card games? Can someone answer that for me? I'll open the floor here. Adam, do you get hammered and play? I don't know.
That's the thing, is I absolutely do not. I like on those weekends, like the idea of going out and partying is fun, but at the end of the day, I am very much like I'm in bed by like 10.
I am the same. I know it seems to be like a young person's game.
I'm not. My friend Jacob calls me a chaos queen because I don't sleep at night. I don't sleep. I get very energetic about certain projects that I do, and I just go ham. I will not sleep. I will not eat until I finish my project. Then I will sleep for 2 hours, get up fully energized because of the adrenaline of said project that I'm doing.
Okay. All right.
I'm also not a drinker. I'm a social drinker.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't want to presume that you're
I don't know why I don't get hangovers. You're good. No, you're good. I do drink in excess in social situations though, so you're not wrong. But I also don't get hangovers. I've never had a hangover. I also don't throw up. Never thrown up. Hey, slight flex.
First of all, you're jinxing yourself right now. You just put it out there in the universe.
If it happens, it happens. If it happens, it happens. But I'm just very energetic. I will not sleep for 2 days and still have enough energy by 2:00 in the afternoon. Yeah, I'll feel like death for like maybe 2 hours in the morning, but then I'll be fine.
That's fair. All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna go back on the rails here. You are Chain. You win. You win the contest. Give me a little bit
surprise.
Give me some mindset. Give me some of the inside perspective here when they say Carolina Alvarado wins the cosplay competition.
My mindset was why? Because I did not expect to win. I really did not expect to win. I did, like I said, I did it because it was fun. I went in there. Nobody knew who I was. Some people knew who I was, but not a lot of people knew who I was from the get-go. And a lot of people were like, yeah, it's like a second place cosplay. It's really good, trust me. But it's like a second placer. And I'm like, fair enough. Like, I'm not here to win. I'm just here to be me and have a good time. And then I won.
Who's giving you that kind of constructive criticism? Who's going, hey, this is great. It's not the best, but you're good-ish. Who's dropping that kind of line?
A lot of people came up to me and said that. A lot of people. So I was definitely gearing towards I'm going to get second place because everybody told me I'm going to get second place. And I'm like, you know what? A win is a win. A win is a win. And then I got first. And I do think it was like my personality that got me there, definitely. I like to say that I'm a character. I'm definitely a character. And I do like to liven up the room. So I'd like to think that sure, my cosplay was good, but also me embodying a cosplay and embodying a character got me to where I am. Just like you can have the best cosplay in the room, but you also have to embody your character and show like your passion for a character. And that's what I like to do. I like to show my passion for whatever I create, which is why I only cosplay things that spark joy, like Marie Kondo, I guess you could say.
I still fold my clothes based on her recommendations, and it is wonderful. So you really embody the darkness that is the demonastery when you are dressed as Chain, you would say.
Yeah, I'd like to say I'm dramatic as all hell. I am very dramatic. I do like to dive into a character, like exude confidence, not an actual character, but I definitely looked into her. When I create a cosplay, I'm spending hours and hours just looking into this art and looking into every single detail because I do love to be detail oriented. And so whenever I look into every single detail, I kind of create a lore behind it, even if there's not a lore behind it. And so at the end of the day, I put all of my garb on. I do my walkthroughs and do all of that jazz, and I just become the person that I want to become at the end of the day. I become the character. I become whatever it is I'm cosplaying. Chain, exude confidence, sexy Sonic the Hedgehog, stuff like that. And so, yeah.
You're just, I'm gonna write that one down because we're gonna get back to sexy Sonic the Hedgehog in 1 second here. But all right, so as Chain, Chain is we talk about I guess what is he, a rune blade character there. There's a lot of arcane energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of darkness and perhaps even a lot of blood rituals and dark magic here, which brings us to our first community question from Ryan LeGrau. Asks, where do I make the blood sacrifice?
You can just put it in a little glass vial and give it to me. I do only take blood. Please don't put any other bodily liquids in these glass vials. For the love of God, please don't.
It's a slippery slope immediately. Please do not
make sure that they're not
any
going to
blood
open
to Carolina or the combat chain for that matter. We no one here wants your fluids. All right,
please don't send me your fluids.
Squeeze it in,
but honestly,
in the flow. We got there. Wasn't gonna just throw that at.
Speaking of flow, blood sacrifices.
Yes. All right, so you win. The next day, a big burly British guy is wearing your costume. How does Matt Folks fit into the thing that you wore?
We have the same build. It's so sad to say. We have the same build.
The same shoulder span and everything.
Yes. It's because I'm an aerialist, so I have big burly man shoulders and lats. And so does Matthew Folks, I guess. But how it happened, basically was I win. Somebody gives me a THC gummy, a little gummy, and I'm gone. We end up going back to my Airbnb, and I fall asleep on the couch, and then I wake up and everyone's gone. I'm like, where the hell did everybody go? And they're like, oh yeah, we just went to the club. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll meet you there then. I meet everybody there. It's me, Kiki, Frank, Jason, and then Frank ends up inviting Matt and his friend Pete. Yes. And then we just start dancing, whatever. We go back to my Airbnb, and I'm still gone. And so I'm like, who wants to wear the chain cosplay? Because it's on the floor. And Matt's like, I want to. And so I put him in it, and I'm like, this is funny. I'm going to take a picture. And then I just posted onto Twitter. And I was like, Matt, do you want to wear this tomorrow? And he's like, yeah. And I said, cool, you're going to wear it tomorrow. Because, yeah, he was so down to wear it. He was so down to wear this cosplay. And he did. He wore it, and he had such a great time. And I think
he wore the shit out of it,
cosplayer.
Too.
I think I recruited a new cosplayer when I put him in that. He loved every minute of it. He had such a fun time. And he was playing side events with my dash deck. So technically, he was cosplaying as me, as Chain. He was me.
This
man was cosplaying as me.
There. Excellent. We have a lot to cover there. Okay, so sexy Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's talk about that. Where does that fit into to the timeline here? Where's the world debut of sexy Sonic the Hedgehog?
Sexy Sonic the Hedgehog was my Halloween costume this year. I just didn't post any pictures of it, but I put it together in like 10 hours. I dyed the tights. I wore the red boots. I had blue hair. That's a funny story. So I had a spoiler card this year, which I don't know why they gave that to me, but they gave it to me.
Congratulations.
But
Not everyone
since it
can
was
get
an
a spoiler
assassin
card. Bewley.
Thank you. But since it was an assassin card, I wasn't allowed to see it until 24 hours before it had to go up. And they're like, yeah, so since it's 24 hours, you don't have to do anything. You can just post a picture. It'll be fine. And I'm like, cool, great. But it's Halloween night. I'm going out. I post a picture with my blue hair. My spoiler card, was cut to the chase. And that night, it was 12 o'clock. And they're like, yeah, here's your spoiler card. And when I spoiled the card, they're like, some people were like, oh my God, I knew it. I knew you. This was like a little thing you did, didn't you? You posted you with blue hair, but your spoiler card has blue hair. You are so tricky. And I'm like, yep. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Hey,
I'm not going to tell you
sometimes
anything
the stars
else.
align.
But then James White comes up to me in the banquet, and I'm so sorry, James. I didn't have the heart to tell you, because he says, oh, I saw what you did with the blue hair and the spoiler. And I'm like,
yeah.
Yep. That's what happened.
The cat's out of the bag now, though. That's all right.
I'm just so smart. Yep, that's exactly what happened. I'm not telling you anything else.
Now, you mentioned that you and folks have some things in common. He is I believe he at this current time is a firefighter now. If he isn't, I think he's still pursuing that. But he is hard at work getting physically ready for that endeavor. You are an aerialist. You are a traditional circus performer, which is different than a contemporary circus performer. Contemporary circus being more of the Cirque du Soleil part of that. But the traditional, we're talking 3-ring circus, big top tent when we say traditional. Okay, all right.
Correct. So, I never performed in tents. I actually performed in arenas my entire life. Hold on. Okay, sorry. I actually performed in arenas my entire life. One of my biggest dreams was to perform in a tent. I still haven't done that, which sucks. Like an actual big tent. Which I'm going to do before I die, I swear. Yeah, but I grew up in the circus. I'm a 6th generation circus artist. I was a 6th generation, a professional career circus performer until the pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, COVID happened, lockdown happened, and then I decided to not go back. I still perform. I have a studio here in my little Missouri town that allows me to perform every once in a while, every month, 3 times a month, so a lot of times. But traditional circus art, I am currently not in. I might go back. I might go back next year. I haven't decided yet. That's something that I still haven't decided, and I have to decide in about a week and a half. Oops, procrastination. But
right, there's always time until
my dad was in it. Yes, exactly. My dad was in it. My grandparents were in it. My mom was in it. I did perform with my little brother. It was a different way of growing up, to say the least.
Now, does that right? So right, family business, right? Kind of family trade there. How many? How are we? What are we talking here for? Kind of training wise, when is the first? When's your first stunt? I mean, are they putting you on the rings as an infant here and just seeing where you go? How does that happen? Yeah.
Basically, you start as a child. They start training you as a little child. I actually started performing professionally. I've been in the ring. There are pictures of me in newspapers in the ring as a 2-year-old child, and I can find those. There are pictures of me at 3 years old in costume with my mom holding me in costume. Professionally, I debuted at 11. My little brother debuted at 13. in our professional traditional way, that's actually really late. That's at least 3 years too late. But my parents definitely wanted us to choose this lifestyle. Our parents wanted us to choose this lifestyle. I have an older brother that hated it, did not want anything to do with it. And so he didn't. He's into fitness, boxing, and all of that stuff. But my parents weren't going to force him into it. So they did start us a little late. And I'm actually grateful for that because it showed me that I actually wanted to do this. This is something I wanted to do, not something that I was forced to do. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. That is, it's almost like Olympic training at that point, right? You just start young, so by the time you hit that age, you're at like your peak performance. Now, what in aerialist, that is, are we talking trapeze? Are we talking spinning giant hoop in the air? What goes into being an aerialist? How many implements can you actually fly on?
So an aerialist is a base name for whatever you do. There are different apparatuses that you can go on. There's flying trapeze, there's static trapeze, the hoop, which is what we call a lyra, or in Canada it's a cerce, something like that. I actually did hair suspension when I was 11 to, I'd like to say 13, 14. Then I went into duo straps with my little brother when I was about 16. Oh, I actually did hand-to-hand trapeze with my little brother when I was 14 through 15. A lot of different apparatuses. So it is a base term, a blanket term for a bunch of different things. Sure. Just a lot of stuff you can do in the air. Different things, yeah.
Would you say that you have a specialty, or are you kind of jack of all trades?
I'm not talented enough to be a jack of all trades yet. My specialty definitely is straps, duo straps, regular straps. That's just, again, what sparks joy in me. I can do hoop, I just don't like it, so I don't really train it, which means I'm bad at it now because give me a few weeks, I'll do it, but it doesn't spark joy in me, so I'm not going to do it. So whatever sparks joy is my specialty at the time.
Now I know I want to go down this rabbit hole. It fascinates me. So you don't see a lot of like traditional circus anymore, right? Circus of Soleil kind of has overtaken the kind of the popularity, it seems, there. Where is there still an audience for traditional circus? Is there where is it? Why don't I see it as often as I did? I used to be like, Ringling Brothers used to come into TD Garden, and then animals and activism and all that stuff kind of happens, but you don't see a lot of you don't see that touring company of traditional circus, it seems, these days.
It's definitely I don't want to call it a dying business. It is at a static, it's a static business right now. It's tangent. No, what is the word? I'm blanking.
Stagnant? Are you looking?
It's still stagnant. Yes, stagnant. There it is. It's a stagnant business right now. There still are a lot of traditional touring companies that don't have animals, actually. Ringling did close in 2015, which is why you don't see them. But they are opening up again next year without animals. It still does. It's just because there's no animals doesn't mean it's not traditional. Which, contrary to popular traditional people belief, you can still be a traditional circus without animals. It's just spectacle, That's what brings you apart. There's traditional family-friendly circus, and then there's contemporary, still family-friendly, but there's also contemporary adult, contemporary this, different genres of circus. Ringling, in my opinion, is a traditional circus. Just because there's no animals doesn't mean it's not traditional. It's stagnant. The show that I worked on my entire life is still going, still doing arenas and stuff. There is an audience for it. It is a dwindling audience, and I wish these shows could get with the times. My personal belief is that if they were to get with the times and if they were to understand that times are changing, then their audience would grow, and they can grow with their audience, but they're just not. If you have to take animals out of the circus in order to keep your business alive, I feel like you should probably do that. And they're not, but some are, and some are getting with the times, and I like to see that. As much as I grew up around animals, and I know how, not speaking for every single show in the entire world, I know how the animals were treated in mine, and I know that they were loved, and I know that they have a great life. They had a great life, and whatever was happening with them, I'm literally like, I see them, but times are changing. Times are changing, and you have to get with the times. That's just how it is.
They certainly are. I could talk for hours. I'm going to start a circus performing podcast. You're coming on. You're my first guest, and then we can talk. Talk for hours about this.
We can start a boot camp.
Let's go. I'll be the clown.
Circus boot camp. Yes.
I think I can do that. I can mime maybe. So okay, one more. I wasn't gonna bring this.
Basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get different flesh and blood. We're gonna get different flesh and blood players, and we're gonna force them to do different circus things. It's gonna be so fun.
So I was gonna come off. I'm gonna come back on here. Okay. So traditional circus, it's not. Is it just stunts? Or there's got to be when the clown was like a kind of a triggering thing. You got to have you have these traditional performing arts. What kind of encompasses what you would call that, right? So you have your you have your stunts, you have your high wire acts. But we're also talking like clown cars, and that kind of traditional clown with makeup.
Clowns,
what else comes
juggling,
in? Yes.
Yeah. Clowns, juggling, hand balancers, hula hoops. Just what you think of when you think spectacle, that is circus. That is circus. Spectacle. Contortionists, all of that freaky jazzy stuff that I didn't think was freaky my entire life. And I just thought it was normal.
But not so especially on the contortionist side of things. Do you have sideshow like freak show, sideshow type acts, like danger acts that happen in there as well, or is that more of kind of a different take on these things?
So
like knife throwing and contortionist with the arrow.
Not really sideshow freaky. Yeah. All of that. Knife throwing, contortionist with the arrow, with the bow and arrow. There's also motorcycle thrill acts that you can put into a circus. It's just whatever the producer wants for that year, I guess you could say.
Excellent. Okay, that's get out of the circus back in flesh and blood. Unless of course we're playing some Everfest cards back into the circus there. Okay, I want to get some of these community questions out before I get too far lost into our conversation here. King Hua Kwong says, how does it feel to be a 3-time cosplay champ, because they know you've got the next one in the bag?
As much as I would love to be a 3-time cosplay champion, I want to give somebody else a win, definitely. I want to gear more towards helping the cosplay community, so I really hope, if I'm not invited next time, I'm going to win it out of spite, because I'm petty like that. But I'm going to keep cosplaying every single time I go to these events, but I hope the next time I go to one of these events, I'm invited. I really hope.
You want to be you want to be like the guest. You want to have like your name, your image and name.
I want to be a guest cosplayer. Yeah.
Featured cosplayer at.
I want one of those little.
The mysterious
little
location
Photoshop ads.
2023. It's gonna have.
Pro Tour Dallas, Texas. I hope it's in Texas. I want the Pro Tour in Texas.
Texas is all right. It's got to be on the. Give me middle Texas though. Don't give me like San Antonio or anything. That's too far.
It'll totally be San Antonio because of track record.
Dallas, Texas, something that I can drive to.
It's gonna be right on the Mexican border.
Where's the cheapest part of Texas? That's where it'll be.
Yeah. All right.
You want the truth? Because the cheapest part of Texas is probably like West Texas, and there's nothing there.
That is true. I may have dabbled a little of my journey into that kind of big country Texas, and there's fucking nothing in there. Nothing. Ronnie Lloyd.
There's a Walmart though.
There is. There's one Walmart 40 minutes away from the nearest gas station. You have to stay in a dry county, though. You have to go into the big city to get the alcohol, and then come back. But your one restaurant is a crappy Mexican food restaurant and closes at 8 p.m. That is the Texas that I know and love. Ronnie Lloyd from Facebook asks, Bravo cosplay when?
Oh, yeah. The Bravo cosplay happens next week. Yep, the Bravo cosplay is happening next week. Definitely.
1 week away. Here we go.
I do actually, in 1 week, give me 1 week. I actually am thinking about doing just exclusively gender bent cosplays because of how fun they are. I again am an attention to I love attention to detail. But when I do a gender bent cosplay, I do allow myself to go a little more in the creative side. I get to tweak it a little bit, tweak it to my body, tweak it to how comfortable I am. A Bravo cosplay, a gender bent Bravo cosplay at that would be very fun. Gender bent Starvo, I could probably do tomorrow if I just asked my mom for her Ringmaster costumes, which I already have.
You know? When the circumstances are right, these things can happen. All right, our next question is from, I believe I grabbed this from Twitter. Fabriana asks, and you know what? This begs into a bigger question here. Will we ever get custom Dragon Shield sleeves featuring you in cosplay? It is simple enough to get that image and order them, but where is the where's the merch? When's the merch line coming out?
Where's the market for Carolina Lil Uzi Squirt Bitchy Velour merch? I don't think that there's a market for that. If
I would
you
beg to differ.
Personally, this is an open letter to everybody. A lot of people ask me for sleeves of different pictures, and they're jokes. I know that they're jokes. But a lot of people ask me, hey, turn these into sleeves. And I'm like, no, you can turn them into sleeves. If you want to turn my face into sleeves, do it. Please. Please do it. It would be so funny to walk in to like a calling and see like 3 different people with 3 different pictures of me as sleeves. That would be so funny and it would make my day. So if you want to catch my attention, please do that. I implore you.
And just looking at the last 5 episodes of Thunder, you are the top viewed episode on YouTube by at least 100. It looks like. So you're right on the threshold of 1,000 views. So you're at 963 specifically. Looking at you, topped only just in a brief look
currently
through.
Has me beat.
Yeah, Matt Folks at 1.2 and the Professor at 3K. There are some other numbers as they build, but of the recent in the if you go to the Thunder page, the highlighted videos, you're right there and you're the top views there at 963. So look, hey, there's a market. I'll have a lot of explaining to do to my wife when those sleeves come in, but hey, we have to sacrifice for our art here. All right.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Justin Michael Talbly asks, Carolina, do you get much time to actually play, or is too much of your time spent prepping costumes?
So I do put every Monday aside. I do take my Mondays off to go to my local armory. I'm going to armories on Fridays too now, so Mondays and Fridays are my flesh and blood nights. I do take those off of cosplay to do my flesh and blood. If I have enough energy, then I will do some cosplay afterwards. As much as I want to be a competitive flesh and blood player, I do not have the time. I also don't have many hobbies that don't turn into monetary, that I don't make money off of. I love makeup and I end up getting paid to do people's makeup. I love cosplay, but it's turned into a competitive thing. I have a lot of hobbies that I turn into little side projects / jobs. So I'd like to keep flesh and blood as my hobby as much as I can for my own sanity's sake. If I
that is
become a
very good point.
little more competitive about that, then I'm probably going to go insane.
I feel that. I feel that. I want to be more competitive. I do not have time. All right, last one of this section here. Dear friend of the podcast, Capolo asks, what is your advice for people that want to cosplay but don't have the skills to create anything? I will say that Capolo himself has cosplayed many times, a lot of Mario World characters, and has done very well. So he is very self-incriminating, but he is a talented cosplayer in his own right.
I love his Wario cosplay.
Right. Did you hear that, Cap? She loves it.
Yes. I love it. My advice for somebody that that's never cosplayed before, just do it. Just do it. Just keep going, because the only way for you to become a good cosplayer is to do shitty cosplay. That is the only way. You're going to have to start something and trash it, and start something and hate it, and start something and hate it until you start something and actually like it. That is the only way. There is no cheat sheet. There is no way to get ahead without hating everything beforehand. You got to be shitty at something before you're good at something, I guess you could say.
That's my next tattoo right there. Speaking of tattoos,
Yeah.
you just got one. You got the permanent. You got the permanent trophy here of being the 2-time champ. All the swords combined. How is it healing?
It's itchy. I don't like how itchy it is.
Yep.
Is this your first tattoo?
Very, very itchy. It's my first tattoo. I got it on my sternum, which people say that
you went big, huh?
I went big, yeah. It's my first tattoo. I got it on my sternum. The line work hurt, but it was like fine. They gave me little sticks to bite on, so I went the entire time. And then the shading happened, and I almost fell asleep because I didn't really feel it. And then 2 days ago, the itching started, and now I can't sleep because of how much the itching hurts. So I'm just constantly like slapping my chest, slapping it and slapping it. Yes, now it hurts. Now I'm regretting my decision, but I actually don't have any of my swords anymore. So I decided to get them tattooed on my body permanently.
Where did they go? Do you just destroy them when you're done?
So No, my Exude Confidence swords did actually get destroyed. They got absolutely destroyed after like the Newark situation, the Newark airport situation. I don't know if you guys had to deal with that, but I spent 24 hours in that place.
I got lucky. I got out right before.
Right. I drove, so it was 4 hours north for me. The social media just blowing up. I felt terrible for everybody.
Yeah. But when I got home, my swords were just absolutely ruined, and I kept them as long as I could, and then they started just started being torn apart. They just started.
Right, that's all
getting
right.
destroyed. They were just horrible. So I had to throw them away. I did use I did keep the handles of it, and then I ended up using the handles for my Galaxy Black. So my Galaxy Black was a definite like last minute thing. I made it in 2 days, and I did not buy anything for it. I made it out of scraps. I tried to make my one cosplay I tried to not be as wasteful, because I was very wasteful with Exude Confidence, because I was learning and I was wasting a lot of stuff. So I wanted to be a little bit more eco-conscious. So I recycled and reused a lot of my old scraps and my old Exude Confidence stuff into this. But then I ended up giving my sword away to James's daughter. She loved it. And so I said, hey, I only need that. Yeah. She loved it. And so I was like, hey, I only need these for a few hours. If you get permission from your dad, you can have them. And I was like, and she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, you can have them. And so after I won, I immediately went to her and I said, take care of it. It's yours. Have a good time. Have fun.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I miss it. So I got it tattooed on my body. It's on my body now.
Fair enough. Excellent. Do you have plans for more, or are you gonna just see how this one after their full recovery here? Because once you start, you don't stop. Just so you know. I don't
know. Yeah, that's the thing. It's that the reason why I got this is because I didn't sleep for 24 hours one Tuesday. And so I kept telling people to tell me what to do for the whole day. I played Sims on my Instagram story. So on my Instagram story, I said, hey, tell me what to do for 24 hours. And one of them was get a tattoo. And I said, no. But then I was like, wait, I have an idea. So I actually, I contacted Mara from Blackwing Studio.
Love Mara.
And I said, hey, Mara, I have this really weird idea. And I need it. Like, I kind of like, this is very weird. This is 3:00 in the morning. And I said, can you do this for me? And we went back and forth, drawings, and this is what we came up with. And then the next week I got it done.
So good on you. I still have, I have, Adam, what was your first tattoo? You have how many do you have? How many hours do you have on you?
I've got a few hours. I've got 4 tattoos. Most of the hours being a big piece on my side here, kind of goes from my armpit down into my flank and into my abdomen. But my first piece was actually, I've got this piece on my left forearm, and it's a rose with a heart growing out of it. And I remember when I went to the tattoo parlor and they're like, okay, you want to book this idea? What is it? And I was like, it's a rose with a heart growing out of it. And they thought it was the dinkiest sounding thing. And then I actually kind of like presented my idea because it's an anatomical heart. And
that is a game changer. That's
it's different. It's not like a little like cartoon heart. It's an anatomical heart.
You have to put the ventricles in here.
Yeah, and the whole idea behind
that's what happened to me is that I went to a tattoo parlor and I said, hey, I have these. I had a bunch of reference pictures. I said, I want this, and this done. I want it done like this and this. And they kind of looked at me like I was insane. They looked at me as like I was actually insane, which is why I'm glad I went to Mara, somebody who's actually in the flesh and blood community, who knows exactly what I'm talking about, to help me with something. And honestly, I'm very glad I did that, because not only is it something a part of me, it's something that was a community effort.
I can definitely appreciate that. What do I got? What do I have? My first two, is it there? I forget sometimes. I got a mom tattoo. That's my first one. It says mom. It's a heart.
Nice.
I got that, man. I got that when I was 19. I told myself that I would wait a year, right? If I had an idea for a tattoo, wait 1 year and then get it. So at 19, I was like, mom tattoo. And it's got I got a little tribal on either side. So it is old school. I have
my brother actually has tattoos. How many do you have? Woo!
I've got
my
5,
brother, who's
basically on my
3 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. He has started getting tattoos this year. First one was on his birthday. He now has 20. His birthday was in August.
Oh, it sounds like a man with a plan.
But he does have this really cute tattoo. Yeah. He has this really cute tattoo. It's an outline of my mom and dad. But the outline looks like my mom and dad, but it also looks like me and my brothers. It's very freaky. It's just an outline with no face, no nothing, but the outline looks like me, and the outline of my dad looks like my 2 brothers. It's very weird.
Very cool. Very cool. I will. A lot of fun stories with my tattoos, but I will say I have this one on my forearm. The audience won't be able to see it, but you see that little cross right there. I went on a date. Right, we had a couple drinks, and she said, "Hey, let's get some tattoos." And I went, "Sure. If this is how the night's gonna go, and this is how it's done, sure, let's go." And so I went to a place that I've never been before. I had no idea, and I came up with I was like, "A cross, please," and have at it. What's the minimum? What's the damage here? Great. And I spent the next hour being gouged to death by the guy was like, he was like jack. I mean, he was like 270 pounds, like monster, just hammering onto my forearm with this thing. And it was, it's just a simple design, but two things. One, it is not symmetrical. I don't know why, but it is not. So I have an asymmetrical cross on my arm, and
I never noticed that it's asymmetrical.
Yeah, it's I don't know. This side is much longer than this side.
Oh,
it doesn't.
Wow.
See, it like I don't know. It's tough to see like that, but they're not even, and that bothers me. Bothers me all the time. I got that when I was like 22, but so like 2 days after I got the tattoo, I got infected as well. So I don't know what was in that shop, but
no.
it scabbed over. All the bad things happened, and I still have it's pocked. It's a bunch of pock marks on it, and it's terrible. It's a life lesson. Don't get a tattoo spontaneously, or on a date, or for somebody else. Just wait and get a tattoo when you want one.
Don't do that.
All right, so
yeah, I have a lot of anxiety over tattoos, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna get another one, but I have this one.
My advice is wait 1 year and then go for it. All right, I feel like I could ask a ton more. I could do this for hours, but we're gonna round the bases here. This is the last episode of 2022. I will. Okay. All right. For Cap's sake, I have to ask his second question. Right.
Oh, God.
It's all right. It's a running joke more than anything else, but we respect our audience, unlike the Fresh and Buds podcast, which will deliberately ignore community questions. Cap asks from a deck building perspective. My question is about deck building. Does she have some sort of formula for the ratios, or is it kind of a gut feeling in the ratios of cost versus pitches? Carolina, what is your deck building philosophy when it comes to number of blue pitches?
Do you want to know my deck building philosophy, Cap? I go to youtube.com, okay? And then I look up Capolo. And then I say, "Oh, new Dash video." And then he says, "These cards good." And I say, "I believe him. I'm putting them in my deck today." And then I say, "These cards good." And then that's what happens. And then I ask another Dash main, and they're like, "These cards bad." And I said, "Fair enough. No questions asked. Cards out. That's it." If I'm playing control, I do. No, but really, if I'm playing control, I do like to keep my blue pitch ratio high. I play mainly control, so I do keep my blue pitch ratio higher than usual. I'm still on my old dash build right now just because I'm too lazy to buy cards. I've been procrastinating on buying cards. I need to get, harpoons and BIOS updates and stuff like that. So I'm still on my old control dash build, my little boomer dash. So I do actually have a high blue ratio in my deck right now. But no, that's it. That's my formula. YouTube.com/Capello.
App, you heard it here. You're the formula. You always were. All right. 2022 is coming to an end for the combat chain. So we want to have some fun and kind of go over our favorite stuff of 2022. So we're going to start with favorite location that you have traveled for Flesh and Blood. Carolina, we'll open the floor to you first.
Ohio.
Ohio
was my favorite location. Not because it was Ohio. Yeah. So
this is no one's favorite.
The thing about me is
Ohio.
that I've traveled a lot. Thing about me is because I've traveled a lot. So a lot of places just look the exact same to me. New Jersey, like New York starts to look like Nashville. Nashville starts to look like Dallas at this point. Italy looks like Mexico. But Ohio is definitely a trip. Every time I'm in Ohio, something bad happens to me. One time I was in Ohio and I got robbed. One time I was in Ohio and I got hurt. Yeah, but this time I was in Ohio, and the only bad thing that happened was that this time I was in Ohio. The only bad thing that happened was that I stayed in a death cabin, and it was fine. There were some rats. There were bunk beds that didn't have actual mattresses. They just had mattress pads on them. There was no air conditioning. But honestly, a win is a win in Ohio. We don't get much of those. And but the thing is, I met a lot of good people there. The Realm Games is actually a great LGS.
Shout out to Keith.
And no regrets on going to Ohio. No regrets on Ohio. That is my favorite place of 2022.
No regrets for Ohio. Adam, favorite location?
It is going to be, and this is going to be controversial. I don't think everyone's going to agree with this. It was by far France.
Okay, all right.
And that is purely because France holds a special place in my heart. For many reasons. That is, to have gone to France for Flesh and Blood.
Some people's Ohio.
Exactly. Yes. Yep. Yep. Well put.
I didn't go to France, man. What do you want me to say?
No, that is a welcome take here at the Combat Chain. We don't have to. We're not anti-French Pro Tours here. Friend of the pod, Matt Folks, winning PT Lil there. So we love it there.
Friend of the pod, enemy of Carolina.
The duel of the century coming to you in 2023. My favorite location is going to have to be New Jersey. I didn't do a ton of travel. I traveled to two places, New Jersey and Charlotte. And New Jersey was very special for a lot of reasons. Met Adam in person for the first time, and met a bunch of my friends for the first time. Tommy, Max. Seeing Max, I gush over it a bunch. It was nice seeing Max Thomas for the first time in person. I remember hearing his voice and right, big online community, right? We all interact, but for the most part, it's talking happens like this, right? You're doing this, and you just see a playmat. The audience can't. I just switched to my playmat cam, right? So you just see hands, a deck, and a playmat, and then a voice, right? So more than anything else, Max has a very unique voice. So when I heard it, I came over there and was like, what do you think, Max? And he just and gives me a big hug, and he's a big guy as it is. He just swallowed me right up and gave me a big hug.
I think that's why I liked Ohio that much, is because in New Jersey, I wasn't in the community. I was just like me, I didn't know a lot of people. Frank gave me bagels, and that was the only person I knew. Like, I knew Frank, and he gave me bagels, and I tried to give the bagels out to people, and they just like looked at me like I was fucking weird. If I were to give people bagels now, yeah, they would take them. New Jersey, they wouldn't take them. But like Ohio, first like thing that I went to, first event that I went to after New Jersey, and it was when I was like in the online community and I knew people, and I think that's why it was so special to me, is that it was the first time people were actually like nice to me, and so really solidified my want to go to more events, my need to go to more events, I guess.
Excellent. That's right. New Jersey was that for me. I had a bunch of friends in the online community, and we all came together for the first time, and it was very good. All right, and we're gonna jump around a little bit, but this makes sense to follow up. Favorite meal while on the road for Flesh and Blood in 2022.
Come back to me on that. You guys go first. I have to think.
All right, I am going to go ahead, Adam. Go, get your answer out there.
This favorite meal is funny because I remember even going on to Tommy's show and he does his like food thing at the end, and
talk
I was
about
like,
food.
And I was like,
it's not even a question, it's a demand.
And I was just like, oh God, what am I gonna say? I have such a terrible relationship with food. I don't know what, like, I guess like I like macaroni and cheese. Like, I guess you guys are Americans. You don't have the same fondness for macaroni and cheese, or KD as we call it, as us Canadians do. I don't know, things like pizza.
What? Those initials don't line up with macaroni and cheese. Mac and cheese you call KD.
Yeah, Kraft Dinner.
Is it Kraft Delight?
Fuck off.
Kraft Dinner. Ah, so close.
Terrible.
What's Kraft Delight?
I don't know. I was just thinking.
Okay.
Like,
I was wondering if that was some
know.
American thing I'd never heard of.
It was just as a legitimate as Ricard as anything else. Kraft.
You know, like Sunny D.
Because Kraft is a brand you guys have in the
name.
Kraft is a brand you have in the States, right? KRAFT. Yeah. So they have a thing.
Massachusetts. Robert Kraft owns the Patriots, so I know all about Kraft Foods, Kraft Group.
Except for some reason, Kraft Dinner is only in Canada.
In Missouri, we have these thing called the cheese caves. In Missouri.
I've heard of these.
Yeah.
Is this the government?
We have the cheese caves, and we also have the. Yes.
Yep.
And
please
so
do tell. I buried the lead there, but tell me about the cheese caves. So
we have the Kraft warehouse. We have the Kraft warehouse, and Kraft keeps all of their cheese in these caves, and it's called the Springfield Underground. And that's where we ship all of the cheese around, like, it's all around town or all around like I don't know how far they ship the cheese, but they ship the cheese, and they're called the cheese caves because they're these giant caves. And I have pictures. Of these cheese caves, okay? Because I've gone down to these cheese caves. I have proof of the cheese caves, and they're kind of cool, and there's no internet down there, and there's no, like, it's kind of creepy, but yeah, cheese caves.
Cheese caves. Why caves? Why caves for cheese? Is it just because of the real estate space, or is there something special about the climate of a cave that makes cheese storage more appealing?
I'm almost 100% sure it's the climate of the cheese. It's the climate of the caves that keeps the cheese fresh. Okay.
All right.
We have a lot of fucking cheese in America. The amount of cheese that America has for if we stopped producing cheese right now, we would still have cheese for the next 100 years.
That is true. And they're stored in the caves in Missouri. When it runs out.
In the cheese caves.
My 5-year-old eats a solid percentage of America's cheese on a weekly basis. My favorite meal on the road for myself. I think I only went out twice. I think we tried to go out in New Jersey, and then we decided to draft, and then everyone was tired. And then I think everyone was like, oh yeah, we're going to eat dinner at 11 p.m. And I'm like, you're out of your fucking minds. I'm going to bed. And
you ate at the Red
DoorDashing.
Robins with us a couple times because we were so excited about the Red Robins because we're from Canada.
That's right.
And
that's
we
right.
don't have Red Robins
that
anymore.
doesn't count as going out for me because Red Robin is such a usual thing for me.
Red Robin, yum.
Yum. We have one.
I've
right?
never even heard that jingle. I've never that
Oh.
jingle has never made it to Canada.
Really? Oh wow.
Man, you haven't really experienced Red Robin. They just did like a whole revamp of their aesthetic. My wife used to work at Red Robin, so they had a bunch of
Red Robin aesthetic. The Red Robin aesthetic.
Yeah, they used to have like a whole bunch of like the walls were littered with pictures, and then every franchise would have a singular picture somewhere in the restaurant turned upside down, and that was like the fun for like, I don't know, Red Robiners to go into other restaurants and find the singular picture. But they took all the pictures down, and with that, a little bit of my soul. So yeah, Red Robin, New Jersey was pretty good. And then I got to go, I hung out in Charlotte with it was Logan, Jordan, Mo Bogesley, Dagan, it was Keith, Flake, Armada, like as a whole crew here. And it was the first time I've met and hung out with like a lot of those people, but Keith from the Realm Games introduced himself as just a guy. Hey, what do you do? You know, my family dabbles in a few things here and there, and we start talking, and you know, maybe 15 minutes it felt like into that conversation. He talks about how he picked up, he took the opportunity to open an LGS, and I'm like, oh, how's that going? He goes, I think it's pretty good. We're still holding some tournaments here and there and doing some good things. And I'm like, oh, what's the name of your LGS? And he's like, oh yeah, it's the Realm. It's the Realm Games. We're based out of Ohio. I'm like, you didn't open a LGS. You opened the LGS. Like you're Keith from the Realm Games. You were just like, I'm nobody. I'm just some guy. That's fine. And it's like you really did that. And that night, I walked Flake home. We went to the same hotel, so we ended up only two walking in that direction. So we spent about 20 minutes just walking Flake in the downtown Charlotte. It was a good time. All right. Next.
Even though, honestly, wait, hold on.
Hold ahead.
I love him, but he did not hang out with me at Worlds. He said he was too busy, so I'm going to hold that over his head until I see him next time. Hold that over his head.
Matt, you heard it. She's gunning for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see
angry.
here. Now let's get into, you know what, before we'll end on Flesh and Blood stuff. Favorite cosplay of 2022? I'll go first.
It's Jane. Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, sorry. There is like a 2-second delay between the audio, so I'm not purposely cutting you off.
Is there? I'm sorry.
Yep. No, it's okay. But I'm not purposely cutting you off. That's all I'm saying. At US Nats in Charlotte, there was Frightmare, and they were robbed. I'm just saying that now. I love.
There was a Frightmare? That's incredible.
Yep, hooved demon.
It was really cool.
Multiple horse heads. Love Elaine. Love Nullrune dude, but Frightmare should have won. So it was my favorite cosplay of 2022. No offense to our illustrious guest today, but that one.
Okay, I didn't know that it didn't have to be me, so I'm gonna choose someone that's not me. I'm going to go with.
There's only two choices for you, if I recall. I don't know how many other ones you have out there.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna choose me. I'm not gonna choose me.
All right.
I'm gonna go with. If I don't choose Frank, he's gonna get mad at me. No, it's gonna be Ethan Van Sant Pro Tour France. There you
go. All right. Levi with the. Did he have the lights on with that one? I believe he had a whole set.
Lights was New Jersey, I thought.
Oh, okay. I know he stepped it up.
He had like guts. He had guts.
He had like the full sacrifice thing going, didn't he?
In France, he brought out the drama. He brought out the drama in France, and that is what makes a good cosplay.
All
Theatrics,
right.
drama,
Okay.
theater, acting.
Theater. Adam, favorite cosplay of 2022?
Oh boy, putting me on the spot.
You have had plenty of time to review the notes, sir.
Choose.
I just
Choose wisely.
Choose carefully.
You can say chain or exude confidence.
those are my two options. Okay.
No.
I mean, they were both phenomenal cosplays. I struggled to objectively evaluate cosplay. Like, it's just so not my niche. That's the problem. I can see your like, I can see your like lips quivering. You're like, what do I say to that?
Just pick a goddamn costume.
You know what, the chain, like, you know what, chain sword was incredible. Yeah, the chain costume. Let's go with that.
Here we go.
There we go. You got an answer for me, Pat.
Let's go.
For guest cosplayer, Olivia Gowerthix.
Yeah. You know what, that one came to mind too.
Yeah, she's I'm a big fan of Olivia. We'll just say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's.
I'm a big fan of Olivia.
I could talk about her for a long time too. I will not. I will not go down that road. Favorite set. All right. Let's. Yeah. Okay. Before we get into Flesh and Blood, favorite people of 2022 in Flesh and Blood. I'm gonna go with the Buds and that whole group there. Those are some good people. So shout out to the Buds and Tommy Fresh as the ringleader of the Buds Discord and the Buds community. They made. I have never traveled for anything competitively before New Jersey, and they brought me in. And when I talk about the friends that made it easier, they really made me feel comfortable. And I have horrible social anxiety, and without them, I would not have I would not have had a good weekend at all. I would just be quiet and play games and be okay playing, but outside of that, I would not have, like, I would sit quietly at a table, and so they made that not happen. So thank you, guys. Adam. Hold on. We'll do it. It's clockwise or counterclockwise to me. You'll finish this off, Adam.
Okay.
This is a tough question too, because there's so many incredible people that I've met throughout the years, and so many incredible interactions I've had this year with Flesh and Blood. At the end of the day, I think my favorite people are because I've got a lot, like, the competitive success I found in 2022 was because of a few key people who kind of really rallied with me and helped me. Well, it's not just necessarily that they helped me, that we worked together to have each of us become the kind of best competitive versions of ourselves. And I'm not, I'm not going to go name any names, because there's a few of you, and if you're listening, you know who you are. We worked really hard together this year, and I'm really proud of all of it. I mean, Worlds didn't go the way I hoped it would, but leading up to that, coming out of the slump of Jersey into doing as well as we did in France, and then doing as well as we did in at Canadian Nats this year. Yeah, it's because of some really special key people that kind of helped me achieve that. So I think those are my favorite people of my favorite fab people of 2022 at the end of the day.
Excellent. Carolina.
Okay. It's going to have to be the Ludicolos, which is what we call ourselves. It is me. Well, not me, obviously. It is going to be Kiki Labad, Frank Kong, and Jason Lai, the three people who will forever be my favorite people, even though Jason is always mean to me and always mad at me. But they are the main reason I am in this community, the main reason I am still in this community, and I will cherish them for the rest of my life.
All good people. Excellent. Let's talk favorite Flesh and Blood stuff. Favorite set of 2022. Carolina.
Dynasty.
Ooh.
Dynasty is my favorite set. I know that it just came out, but I love every single card in that set. I think all of the art is beautiful, and it is just very pleasing to look at. Also, Pulse Wave Harpoon is in that set, and it is goated with the sauce.
Oh, she
What
says
does that
goated.
even mean? Is that?
She's officially been in the cloud server for too long now. She's goading everything. All right, Adam, favorite set of 2022.
I mean, let's be honest. The sample size is not great. We had a lot of fun opening. We had a lot of fun opening Uprising. Uprising had some fun treats in it. Dynasty, we went down a weird spiral where we spent more money than we should have, and that was weird. But at the end of the day, I think it was Everfest. I just had a lot of fun playing some of the Everfest cards. Viz, Scalata Viz post Everfest launching was so much fun to play. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Everfest has the nearest and dearest place in my heart for sets of 2022.
That's fair. I am the most Fairweather fan because it was Everfest when Everfest came out. For the same reason, we were on the same Vis list, so like it was good stuff. And then Uprising came out, and I was like Fire Ninjas, and now Dynasty is out, and I'm an Assassin main. So I'm
surprised
Dynasty.
it's not Dynasty for you because like the
Assassin. It is Dynasty.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's why I'm a Fairweather fan because it was Everfest, and then it was Uprising, and now it's Dynasty. So Dynasty is my favorite set of 2022. Yeah, Assassin really, it really does it for me. And as a side note here, Carolina, Eradicate. That person should be your next cosplay. I currently have that art as my computer wallpaper, and I've had to explain.
What if I told you it might be?
Then I fully support this, and any sort of PR blast you need from me, I am happy to support.
So my plan. My plan is to do Eradicate,
I can live my dream
get
of being
a bunch of different Flesh and Blood players. Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes. So my plan is to do Eradicate, get a bunch of different Flesh and Blood players, and have them as corpse number 1 through 30, okay? They're going to be in the background. I'll put a little bit of blood on them. I said, wear this bloody t-shirt. You're going to sit on top of Eradicate number 12.
Yes. Amazing. This is wonderful. Yes. You let me know when and where, and come hell or high water, I will be murdered by you. This will happen.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right. I guess that answers my next one about New Year's fab resolutions. We'll do favorite card real quick. Lightning round. Carolina, you go first. 3 seconds. Favorite card.
My favorite card. Rotary Ram. Embarrassing.
Rotary Ram.
I know. I'm sorry.
Sure. Okay. Adam, 3 seconds.
Revel and Runeblood comes to mind. At the end of the day, that card is just insane value in Viscerai. 0 for 5. Yes, you have to put in some work to achieve it, but just to be able to make the sword 1 for 10 is insane value. And I had a lot of fun playing that card in the Everfest meta.
I voted Revel and Runeblood as my number 1 hated card.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Me too.
Maybe actually no. As of like 2 hours ago, maybe it's like Blessing and Ether Red, because I've been having fun roasting people with Fork Lightnings with Blessing and Ether and Red for the past 24 hours. So maybe it's that actually.
That's good. I had once again a Fairweather fan. It was Blaze Headlong, and you know what? In my heart of hearts, it might still be Blaze Headlong. But Leave No Witnesses is currently my favorite.
The Assassin CNC.
Yes. Yep. And it's a wonderful card.
Assassin CNC. Yes.
It is.
Just letting everybody know, BIOS update is actually a better rotary RAM, but I like rotary RAM because I had a weird obsession with it, and then I actually hated it after a while. But if you're gonna put a card in your deck, it's not rotary RAM, it's BIOS update. Please don't listen to me. Actually, listen to me.
Never noticed. It's funny. I actually have a BIOS update in front of me right now. I never noticed that it gives your next boosted attack +3. I thought it just did the weird data doll thing, and I was like, this card's garbage.
Oh no,
but it actually is better than I realized.
It's almost like
it's good. No, it's good.
Yeah, it's soup's good. I have not played Dash since like Dynasty it came out. I don't know. It doesn't. I'm an assassin main. All right. New Year's Flesh and Blood resolutions. I'll go first here. My first one was going to be win a ProQuest, but those dreams have already dashed because I will not be able to attend ProQuests this year, and it doesn't look like with a single Pro Tour that I will get an opportunity in 2023. So I'm going to settle for day 2 something. I just want a day 2 something. That's all I want out of my life right now. I want a day 2. It can be a calling. It can be just a 2-day 4-person tournament where the other 3 decide to drop.
You want a day 2 a cosplay contest?
It's yeah. If there's a 2-day cosplay contest, I will try so that I can do that.
No, there's never going to be one. You're just gonna have to show up on Sunday in the same outfit.
Oh man, if I get could you 3D print me a trophy at least that says day 2 cosplay contest? I don't even
have a 3D printer.
We gotta get you one. But yeah, so I would like to day 2 something. That is my New Year's fab resolution. Adam, New Year's fab resolution.
This one's interesting for me. Over the last few months, I've been really struggling with my identity with Flesh and Blood. And at the end of the day, I still very much love this game, and it's not going anywhere for me. But just when I first set out to really dive into this game, my competitive identity is what I really leaned into. And there was this desire to really just do well in the competitive scene for whatever that meant. And, at this point now, I think my New Year's fab resolution based off that is to just kind of define my competitive identity for 2023. And whether that is finding myself on a proper team, and I'm not defining what a proper team looks like at this point. I recognize that this game is at the end of the day still very much a team sport. And I just want to find myself amongst a strong team that can help support my desire to just do well in this game. But if that's not a reality for me, because if that's not, that's totally fine. And if I'm meant to be a content creator and a caster, because certainly doors have been opening in that path for me, I'm okay with that too. I guess, yeah, at the end of the day, the resolution for 2023 is to just kind of figure out what my future with Flesh and Blood is.
Very good, very good. Carolina.
My resolution is to be invited to at least one big event as a guest cosplayer. That is one of my resolutions. That's one of my goals, and I'm going to manifest it right now that I'm going to, even though it might not happen. But it is in my mind, and I kind of want to give other people a chance. I want to not to toot my own fucking horn, I guess you could say. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna win every goddamn contest I enter, but I want to help other people. I definitely want to give a little bit of my time to newer cosplayers and help them construct theirs, do whatever I can to help them. And if I am in this whole competitive, I need to do this, I need to turn my entire life off, because if I don't do that, then I'm going to lose, because that's just how I am when I get competitive. I won't be able to help other people, and I want to help other people, and I want to grow this community in the cosplay scene. And if I'm invited, then I can do what I need to do for my cosplay stuff and finish my cosplay stuff like nothing, and then use my extra time to help others and do what I got to do for them.
Excellent. I like that. I like that. Fostering community. I just care about beating enough people to smell success, and everyone else wants to foster community. All right. Okay. Last question. This is just for Carolina. This is the final question I like to ask every guest. You are a bit of an open book, so I'm interested to see how you answer it. But what is something that you'd like people to know about you that they don't know now?
Ooh, okay. Ooh, that's so hard because I tell everybody everything.
Mm-hmm.
On the basis of what? Okay, ask me on the basis of what, and then I'll probably have a story.
Oh well, yeah. So this is open-ended. On the basis of what do you do for enjoyment that's not cosplay or flesh and blood? That is strictly for you.
Strictly for me is. That's a good question. I actually, whenever I'm not doing a hobby that involves me doing it for my job, because my favorite hobby outside of cosplay is actually aerial arts. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I like to eat Taco Bell and cry. Eat Taco Bell and cry.
Do you how does the crying start? Do you think about stuff, or do you watch like dogs returning home from war kind of videos to get the waterworks?
I listen to music. My favorite thing is to listen to music. I love music. I love everything about music.
Here we go. What's your favorite artist or band in music right now? Is it SZA?
At the moment, it is SZA.
Yeah,
it's right. SZA. It is SZA. SZA's new album just came out. I have listened to it over and over again. I have listened to it front to back about 6 times already. This past Saturday, I actually listened to it for 9 hours straight. Like headphones in, not like background music. No, headphones in, 9 hours straight. SZA's entire discography. And my guilty pleasure in music is actually listening to show tunes. Listening to show tunes and singing in my car. That's something that I love to do. I do love to sing. I wanted to be a singer growing up, and then my aunt told me I wasn't talented enough to do that, so I stopped singing in public. But I wanted to sing. That was my one thing I wanted my entire life was to sing.
When you say show tunes, you're talking like Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett night at the
baby.
No. What do you got?
Broadway musicals. Broadway Mean Girls the musical.
Okay.
Yes. Broadway musicals. I will belt out. Right now my favorite is Till Someone Gets Hurt by the Mean Girls cast and Dead Girl Walking by Heathers.
Ooh. Mean Girls is getting a screen adaptation. I believe it's going to be on Paramount Plus in 2023, but very exciting for that.
It is.
Ethan Van Sant was on, and that was he brought up Broadway. I am also a huge fan of Broadway musicals. I'm a big Rent nut. I simp for Rent, so that's what I can put that.
Rent.
Could put that on the car, and I'll do the one-man show version of Rent all the way through. The movie soundtrack. That's what I started on.
My favorite is Hadestown.
I have yet to. I need to.
Hadestown is my favorite.
I'm also a big Hamilton.
I can send you an illegal copy if you want.
Please do.
I love Hamilton.
I need to do. I need to do Spring Awakening, Hadestown. Mm-hmm. I gotta go old school. I still need to do like Avenue Q. I want to do that, like Book of Mormon, like the fun stuff. I need to see. I need to see all of those. But sort of Spring Awakening is kind of like on my bucket list.
I've seen Hamilton. Fun fact about that is that my aunt is actually an actress. She was in like Law and Order and a bunch of other stuff like that. and she actually worked with Lin-Manuel Miranda. So when Hamilton was in LA, she actually got me tickets to go see Hamilton then, and it was the single greatest experience of my life.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
What I have to know. I keep dragging this out, but what was your aunt like a recurring guest? Was she a victim? Was she one of the perpetrators? What I love Law and Order.
She was one of the recurring lawyers. She was a lawyer.
Okay.
She was a lawyer. Right. She was one of the lawyers. I can't remember her name her name is Alana de la Garza.
Okay.
And she was on Law and Order, and then Law and Order LA, and then she's on a show called FBI. She's on a show called FBI right now.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. On CBS. I haven't watched.
She's one of the main characters.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, she's one of the main characters.
Here we go. Okay. All right. Well, see, we got there. There's a bunch of stuff we don't know about yet that we just found out. Excellent.
There's a lot. Yeah, that is actually something nobody knows about me, because I stopped telling people. Because one time I told somebody, because she was on TV, and I said, "Oh my God, that's my aunt," and they're like, "No, it's not," and I'm like, "No, it is," and they're like, "Okay, then show us a picture." I couldn't find a picture of us together, and I said, "No, I swear, we're friends on Facebook. Look," and I'm like.
Wouldn't make sense, really. You talk about your whole family legacy of performing. There's now that obviously extends into your extended family. This is excellent. Okay.
Yeah. But now I permanently have a picture on my phone just in case.
Excellent, right? Mobile proof. All right, we got there. We did. I could do. I feel like we barely touched on actual flesh and blood. And I had a bunch of stuff, so that just means that you're gonna come on again at some point, and we can do this for another. This is like 2.5 hours. We're rolling on.
Yeah, this one's a marathon. I'm dreading editing this one.
I said this is the end of the year one, so maybe it doesn't come out tomorrow. So maybe it comes out to it's entirely my fault. Don't you worry. We have reached the conclusion here. So if you have anything that you would like to plug, a link, so where can we find you on social media? This is your opportunity here to do so. So give us the deets.
So you can find me on Twitter at Bitchy Velour. That's an embarrassing name. I've had it since I was 14. Then you can find me on Instagram, Carolina2Alva. And that's basically it. I am always online at all times. My Discord is actually Butterdog, with a few numbers. I don't remember. It's on my Twitter. But yeah, that's about it. If you want to talk to me, I'm always online. So.
All right. Excellent. All right. Now it is time for our plugs. The Combat Chain is on YouTube. You can find us if you search The Combat Chain. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell notification to know when the latest episode is uploaded. We are available on all audio platforms, wherever you stream your podcasts. You can also see us these days on the Fab Team Cup YouTube channel. Adam is handling the production for the live streams and a part-time commentary, and you can see me doing some play-by-play as well, along with a great group of content creators making that happen, and obviously sponsored by Fab Foundry, so a big shout out to Fab Foundry for that. The best way to support us is through our Patreon. You can find us at www.patreon.com/thecombatchain, and you can subscribe to us there. It is a single tier, and it helps us tremendously to keep the lights and mics up and running. And this is where we shout out our patrons, Clark J, Eugene C, Devin, Tyquius, and Arcfire. Thank you very much for your support. You can find us on Twitter, of course. The channel's handle is @thecombatchain. You can find me at Pat Smashgood, and you can find Adam at Toolery TCG. Now, Carolina, this might be a little interesting because of that little slight delay, but we're going to make this work. There is one final piece of business that we do with our guests here, and I would, if you could humor us. The outro of the show goes something along the lines of, I'm going to say, until next week, and then all of us together will say, we're closing the combat chain. We like to ham it up and be in unison and make it all sound wonderful. Is that something I can ask of you this evening? All right.
Yes,
so,
and I'll do it like half a second earlier. So.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
He's like, I appreciate that.
No,
all right.
no,
So
I'm
review.
I'm curious to see how this is going to play out now. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, right. So just as a quick review, I'm going to say until next time, and we're all going to say we're closing the combat chain. All right. Are we ready? Until next week. Until next year.
We're closing the combat chain.
We're closing the
combat chain.
Oh God, best worst one yet. That's all right. You know what? Okay, we're gonna try one more time. And
I think we just leave it on that. I think that's beautiful.
We'll do. Okay. Well, that is. You know what? That's a fitting end, is what it is. All right. That does it. We're wrapped. And cut.
All right. See you next year, folks.
I'm so sorry.
No, it is perfect. It is so symbolically, poetically perfect. You have no idea.